Hey, it's me, Gus the Gopher for Atmos Energy. I dig all around the yard. Occasionally, I bump into a utility line and get a headache. But if you hit one with your shovel, backhoe, or ditch digger, you could cause a gas leak, disrupt service, or worse. So call 811 at least 3 business days before you or someone else digs in your yard to have those underground utility-owned lines marked. It's free and it's the law. You dig what I'm saying? For more on safe digging, visit atmosenergy.com/811.
You don't want to miss the next Mississippi Antique Showcase coming to Oxford, Mississippi, May 2nd and 3rd.
For a $100 donation, you can get a showcase ticket, complimentary food, cocktails, and an on-site appraisal, or a chance to be on the show. Or for $60, you can just come and be part of the party. Call 1-844-874-6874, visit mpbonline.org, or scan the QR code on your screen.
We can't wait to see you in Oxford for the next Mississippi Antique Showcase.
Okie dokie, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. I'm so glad to be here. We're going to just be talking about gardening, and this is the time of year to talk about it. So if there's some things on your mind, let's do it. Let's do it. I mean, I can talk for 45 minutes. Java. You know, I can talk about a pencil for 45 minutes.
Yeah, you do have the wonderful gift for gab.
Well, you know, it's showbiz. So anyway, we got plenty of stuff to talk about. There's things going on in my garden, stuff going on in your garden. You said you and Crystal, we managed to come by on your daughter's birthday and look at your garden, and Crystal is so excited about her little garden.
Yeah, she's so excited, and it's funny how I can say now like last night, we took a stroll around the garden.
You can walk around it.
Yeah, we walked around it, and like most times when we do walk around the garden, it was a point out of what we're going to do this weekend.
Yeah. And she's enthusiastic, like new. I don't know that she's a beginner gardener. You know, maybe y'all have had gardens before, but you know, this is a new garden place, a little raised bed that your dad built for y'all.
Yeah, we had a garden before, I can say back at our old house, but we just kind of let it go to the wayside. But this time, Crystal, along with all of her TikTok advice and the help from my dad, you know, we're kind of going a little stronger this time.
Yeah. Well, now, I want to say this gently, but TikTok is not her friend when it comes to gardening.
Now, one thing I have pointed out to her, because, you know, you can see things, and this is for anybody, you see things on social media from these gardeners or, you know, kind of influencers or whoever, but you don't know where they are, you know, what type of zone they're in,
or agenda.
Or agenda, yeah, they could be pushing something.
You know, I'm the admin of a Facebook page called Mississippi Gardening. We've got over 58,000 members, and some of them are hardcore. I mean hardcore. They got tractors and stuff, and some of them just have a little pot of stuff on their patio. They all have this almost equal enthusiasm. But anyway, the issues, you know, what she started out doing is fine. Dad built a great little garden. It's actually a generous sized garden. It's a good sized garden. But he put the landscape stuff down to keep the weeds down, and he filled it up with store-bought stuff, and which is fine, and it'll work. But next time she wants to replant each one of those little areas, because he got it broken. The raised bed is broken up into different small sections. And each one, every time she gets ready to replant, we can fix it up the dirt a little bit more, maybe bring some real topsoil in to work in with it. But anyway, it's looking great. She's out there counting her tomatoes.
Yeah, the tomatoes, we were looking at blueberries. The cucumbers are about to pop out and do something. The strawberries are starting to flower.
Listen to you.
It's a lot happening, man.
Listen to you.
It's a lot happening.
And it's something to focus. You know, you got kids, you got work, you got Java. You know, there's lots of stuff on her mind. She can go out there and just relax a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's the main thing I tell her every time she goes out there. As long as it's bringing you the joy, then I'm okay with it.
Well, we got plenty to talk about today. Would like to remind folks it's a call-in program. It's a live program here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Got the lines wide open. If you want to give us a call, it's toll-free, no matter where you are. 1-877-MPB-RING. 877, I don't know all those numbers.
672-7464. Also, for our people who are online on YouTube, you can check us out on the live stream. You can go to mpbonline.org and find it that way, or you can go to YouTube and, type in the Gestalt Gardener. I do want to say good morning to Jennifer, who just commented on the live stream about the Facebook group has saved me many a time.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who throw out their opinions. Opinions are fine, but we try to keep it to science, and I don't follow the science myself. I'm a gardener. I don't do things the way I learned in horticulture college. I do a lot of things the way my grandmother did it, where my great-grandmother did it, because they work. And a lot of the stuff you find online is not from Mississippi. They don't. I was reading something the other day. How can you tell when to plant summer stuff? And it said, middle of May, end of May, 1st of June. I looked at it and said it was from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We've already got Crystal and I are counting our tomatoes already. And they're still a month away from planting stuff. So anyway, I got plenty of things to yak about. I did bring some show and tell, though, for folks who are on live stream. If you're not on live stream, anytime you want to. It doesn't have to be right now. It could be 2 in the morning. You got something on your mind, wake up, go to YouTube, and in the search box, type in MPB or the Gestalt Gardener. And you can see the stuff I'm talking about. One is, Java, I brought in a flower from one of my plants, and I'm loath to cut my flowers because I can't imagine people cutting a big bouquet from the yard. But I brought this in, and it's a single stalk, and it's got these long tubular flowers. They're kind of a creamy. They're not white. They're not yellow, creamy white. They're long tubular things. But this is off of a plant that most people have never seen bloom. It's probably the most commonly grown house plant there is. A lot of people know a plant called mother-in-law tongue or sansevieria. As a matter of fact, I've got a picture of it. Picture number 1, it's the sansevieria, what some people call mother-in-law tongue or snake plant. It blooms. It's in the lily family, and it's just a terrific little plant. It's not really, really fragrant, but hummingbirds are coming to this thing in my yard. It's just a potted plant that my grandmother grew. Matter of fact, hers came from a gift basket from when my grandfather died. That's how old this thing is.
Wow.
And it started blooming. I said, this is really, really cool. Most people don't see it, but and get this, moths come around at night. It's white, light colored, so the moths pollinated at night. Doesn't have to be pretty for night blooming things. Anyway, I just want to show that there's some unusual stuff, and the way I got mine to bloom was I neglected it.
Oh.
I treated it like it's a plant that wants to grow at the edge of a tropical desert. Don't water it. I give it a little fertilizer every 2 or 3 years. I don't do anything, and it blooms for me. So anyway, one of those oddball
Now,
things.
talking about things that kind of just bloom because we're in a new home and things are just starting to bloom around, and you came by and saw those purple irises.
Yeah.
I don't even like what's going on there because they just kind of popped up, man.
And I've got a picture that I wish I had sent it, but it's a native iris. It's called Louisiana iris. Even though it grows in Mississippi, it grows in Texas, Alabama. It grows down in low wet areas around the edges of lakes and ponds and down in ditch banks. But the lady who had your house before you planted just a whole bunch of them, and they spread. Matter of fact, I noticed you mowed some of them down.
It was so many of them, man. And to be honest, before they started kind of blooming, they threw up these long green. You saw those kind of long green leaves or kind of grasses.
That's what they're called leaves, right?
Okay, well, yeah. So I was like, man, this is just a lot of this. I need to kind of box this away or edge it off or something. Yep. So I did cut some of them down.
Well, it's just like your face. You grow a little beard, but you don't let it creep up your cheeks too much or down your neck.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. Anyway, Louisiana iris is one of those native plants that a lot of people overlook, partly because it's not sold in garden centers. Doesn't look like much in a pot, and when it blooms, people may not see it. When it's not in bloom, who's going to buy a bunch of leaves in a pot?
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I'm giving a talk tomorrow. Actually, I'm giving 3 talks tomorrow at the farmers market, the Mississippi Farmers Market, downtown Jackson at the fairgrounds. It's probably the biggest farmers market in the state. They got all sorts of vendors. There's a guy that sells homemade birdhouses for like $10. There's a fellow who propagates and sells antique flowers from his own yard, shrubs and trees and stuff. There's people who honey. There's a tamale gal out front. We know each other well.
I believe it.
Yeah, and but anyway, it's there lots of crafts and there's people who have cattle. They make Mississippi grown sausage. And all sorts of stuff. Anyway, I'm giving 3 talks tomorrow. It's a native plant. This is this month is like Native Plant Month, and Mississippi is one of, I think, 2 or 3 states that have an official Native Plant Day. I think. Anyway, I don't know all the details, but I'm giving 3 talks at farmers. First going to be at 9:00. Second is going to be at 10:30. Third is going to be at noon. Same talk. But I'm backing my pickup truck there, Java. They're letting me drive my pickup truck into this building in case it rains.
I was gonna talk to you about this rain. We've been getting a lot. April showers for real.
Yeah. But I got a wonderful tune for that. It's going to take a lot of people way back. A tune that goes back to just over a century. First sung in 1921. But anyway, this thing about the native plant at the farmers market, I'm giving 3 informal talks, 9:00, 10:30, and noon, from the back of my truck, talking about native plants that do well in the landscape. A lot of people just don't think about native plants. They think of wildflowers and things that may not fit. But I just want to give you a couple of examples. My picture that I brought, picture number 3, is of native plants in a landscape. They put a fence post out there, just a plain old split rail fence, and put all these wildflowers around it, and it looks fancy. Not just because they're wildflowers, but because they're used as regular garden plants with a piece of fence. And the next picture number 4, is a plant that's called Amsonia. It's in every British garden. They all have this plant called Amsonia, and it's just an interesting plant. It's blue. It's called Blue Star. It's in full bloom in the Delta in every ditch. You get across the river from Natchez and Vicksburg and Greenville. It's in all the ditches in Louisiana, southern Arkansas. But it's a terrific native plant that is a top 10 perennial in English gardens. It grows wild in Mississippi. Nobody sells it because it doesn't look good in a pot, but man, oh man, oh man. So anyway, I'm going to be talking about that. 9:00, 10:30, noon at the Ag Museum at the fairgrounds downtown Jackson. We'll talk about anything you want to, but I thought I'd just back my truck up and talk about how to get away with using native plants as just normal garden plants.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and take our first break for the hour. We do... That was abrupt.
That was loud.
I know.
It made me cheerful. Between that and antihistamines, I jumped.
But yeah, let's take a break for an hour. We do have a couple questions coming in through the live stream, so we can get to that after the break.
Okay, and it is a live program. If you want to give us a call, folks, toll free 1-877 MPB ring. I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing, and I'm glad to talk with you about whatever's going on in your mind. Stickers, lawn, vegetables, shrubs, pruning azaleas, bugs, blights, whatever. If it's about gardening, we'll talk about it. We're going to take a break, come back after a couple of minutes, and see what's going on. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, Java Chapman. We'll be right back.
You don't want to miss the next Mississippi Antique Showcase coming to Oxford, Mississippi, May 2nd and 3rd.
For a $100 donation, you can get a showcase ticket, complimentary food, cocktails, and an on-site appraisal, or a chance to be on the show. Or for $60, you can just come and be part of the party. Call 1-844-874-6874, visit mpbonline.org, or scan the QR code on your screen.
We can't wait to see you in Oxford for the next Mississippi Antique Showcase.
Hello, I'm Desiree Frazier, host of the award-winning news program, Mississippi Edition. We bring you conversations about the latest news from across the Magnolia State. Whether it's politics, healthcare, or education, you'll hear in-depth discussions on issues that matter to you. So join us each weekday morning at 8:30 on MPB Think Radio, or download the podcast, listen through the app, and online.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Okie dokie, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, talking about gardening. And job, I brought my little truck garden in, and my little green truck is painted like my big truck, and I got a little box of stuff growing in the back, different kind of succulents and stuff. I even found a gnome that looks like me pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers.
And you carry it around often.
I do. I even made a little bottle tree. I went to Hobby Lobby and got me some little blue beads and some wire, and I made me a little bottle tree for it. But
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a little shovel in the green truck?
I guess I could go to McDonald's, get one of the little stirring things that looks like a little shovel.
You could, because a shovel comes in handy before you call 811. Because
good segue.
Atmos Energy supports the Gestalt Gardener, and they want to make sure that you call 811 before you dig, because you don't want to be that person who didn't call 811 and you hit a utility line and you made a mess in your neighborhood. So Atmos Energy, thanks for your support, and remember to call 811 before you dig.
There you go. One of the plants I've got in the back of this little truck doesn't need digging. It's a type of succulent. A lot of people call it hen and chicks because it drops leaves off the main plant, and they grow into little bitty plants, sort of like little chicks under a big hen. It's also called ghost plant. Anyway, this is the plant that'll grow in an urn in a cemetery. It's that tough. But I brought it. I don't know how close they can get with these pictures, but I brought a couple of the leaves that fell off. And when these leaves fall off, at the very end, they grow an entire little plant at the very end of the leaf. I mean, this is it's like a no-brainer. If you water it, it will die. But anyway, every little leaf as it falls down will grow in a whole new plant. So anyway, talk about an easy plant. As long as it's got some dirt to land on, it will grow. So,
that's all right, Felder. And I want to say kudos to Abram and Lacey, and I know Liz is back there. Like they got you a good shot, man. They got you a good shot.
They zoomed right in on it. So anyway, there was a number on the. Did we get
we had Chris from Water Valley. To be transparent, we are having a little bit of a phone thing. We had Chris from Water Valley on the line, but let's go to our YouTube, where you can drop a question in our live stream. We had a question from, let's see, from Jonathan. Jonathan, on our YouTube live stream, you can get to it from mpbonline.org, or just go to YouTube and type in the Gestalt Gardener and leave us a question there. But Jonathan wants to know, he said, wish you would do a program on poisonous plants of Mississippi and Alabama. Ugh. Do we have anything like giant hogweed?
Oh, that's a good question. Poison. I took a graduate course in poisonous plants where we went on like 10 field trips to different habitats, different part of the state, along railroad tracks, roadsides, about the many kind of plants out there that are poisonous some way, usually to livestock and to pets and all. But things like poison ivy, everybody knows about. We along the Natchez Trace, got a beautiful plant that looks like Queen Anne's lace, but it's hemlock. poison hemlock. If you pull it up and try to bite into the root like think it's a wild carrot, it's hemlock. But he's answering about the giant hogweed. We don't have that here. Giant hogweed we have hogweed, and it's a interesting plant. It's got little flat clusters of white flowers. Giant hogweed, Java, the plant is much taller than we are, and it braces, and the flower heads are like 1.5 feet or so across. And it's just a magnificent plant. It's just a stunning plant. It's all over England, so I see it good when I'm riding the trains and all. But if you touch it, if you cut it, wherever it touches your skin, the next time sun shines on it, you erupt in purple blisters. Yeah, giant hogweed. It's one of the most toxic plants out there. Great looking plant, and everybody wants to, I want a piece of that. No, you don't. But anyway, I don't know that there's a resource on poisonous plants for Mississippi other than what they publish for cattle and horse farm, people who have livestock.
Yeah.
But anytime anybody has questions about it, I'll be real glad. A lot of plants that are poisonous are not toxic.
There you go.
They might give you an upset stomach or something like that, but they're not toxic. And unfortunately, a lot of those plants make it on the poisonous, like azaleas. Azaleas are poisonous. If you suck enough of the flowers, don't suck the flowers. And apple seeds have got cyanide in them. Don't chew up a lot of apple seeds, but apples are good for you. Anyway, let's go to the phone call. Chris is calling from Water Valley. Chris, how are you today?
Oh, little voice, other than that, just fine.
Good. What's up? Thank you for calling back.
My nephew has given me, he lives in Memphis, has given me a bottle brush buckeye sapling.
Yeah. And?
How should I?
I think we're having a little bit of a bad connection, Chris. What was that plant again that you talking about?
It's called bottle brush buckeye. A lot of people know our regular buckeye tree. It's got red flowers. It grows in the edge of the woods. Terrific hummingbird plant. Spikes of carmine red flowers in March and April and sometimes early May. Bottlebrush buckeye is another native plant. It spreads. It's like a colony of shrubs, and they got these spikes of feathery white flowers. It's a native plant also. It does best in the light shade at the edge of the woods. Doesn't do as well in the heavy shade. Doesn't do well in broiling hot sun. If you got an area that gets morning sun or late afternoon sun, it's a terrific plant. You can see them at the Memphis Botanical Garden, also at the Dixon Art Gallery and Garden, right across the street from the Botanic Garden. Terrific native plant. Doesn't look like much in a pot, but it's another great plant. If you've got a good-sized yard, you want to put it at the edge of the woods like you would an azalea or an oak leaf hydrangea, which is another good native plant. These plants do terrific as filler plants in between trees and the lawn, intermediate, what they call understory trees. But anyway, pretty good dirt. Get it started. It'll spread a little bit, easy to contain, but I'd put it where it gets a little morning sun, maybe afternoon sun. So I hope that helps.
And that's the thing, too, when people gift other people plants, it's just like, here. And they may not even know what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, green side up is a no-brainer, but sometimes that ain't enough to know.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go on our mobile. Have not heard from Mikey in a long time. Mikey, how are you doing?
I'm doing not bad, you know.
Good.
I'm glad spring is here. I'm glad to hear y'all on the radio, and I'm telling you, y'all just get better and better. It's kind of frightening.
Well, now that we're doing the live stream thing, I actually have to. Now that we're doing live stream, I have to actually shave now. So what's up this morning? What you got?
I hope I don't have to shave my legs, man. But my questions are, geez, first of all, yes, the ghost plant thing, I love it. I got a lot of plants to work with from decades. I'm an old lady, okay? And I also had to take down an over 70-year-old oak tree. It's facing the north and the west. It was facing that. There are other surrounding trees which offer probably more shade than ever, which is why I grew a monkey grass lawn in the front.
Yeah, it's a good alternative to turf grass, and you can mow it.
No, I don't want grass.
Yeah.
I want to know what I can grow around that stump because I had them leave a table height stump so that I could maybe spread a tablecloth over it and put out a little banquet here and there.
You could do that.
Now I've got,
you can also go to any of the places that sells glassware, even the box stores and all, and just get you a round outdoor like a patio table, a glass tabletop, and put it on it. That's what I did with mine. I had to cut down a large shrub that had 5 trunks, and I cut them level and just put a one of those outdoor type round glass tabletops, and I grow succulents on top of it. You can also drill holes in it and stick pieces of rebar and put bottles on the ends of them.
Okie dokie, I can do all of that, and I may do all of that, but I won't do that most of the time. In the meantime, what sorts of plants, while I'm trying to make a transition from what was a heavily mulched, slightly elevated area, and it became less slightly because I increased the elevation. I've got one aspidistra plant. That's the one thing I really want to know about.
It will not take sun. Aspidistra must have shade. Even in the wintertime, it can burn if it doesn't get shade. So you have to move the aspidistra. Cast iron plant will not take sunshine.
Yeah. Okay. But will the ghost plant take it?
Oh yeah. Great. I mean, it wants to be in the sun. So, there's a whole bunch of succulents and things. But what you might want to do, Mikey, is get you, 3 or 4 different kinds of pots. A tall one, some kind of wide ones, some in-between ones, different. And make you a collection of pots and put on top, and just plant different kind of flowers in there. And mix them up so that something dies, it won't bother you so much. But, just mix stuff up. Have something that cascades out of it. But, make your little collection of potted plants on top of it. That'll look really, really good.
I got all that stuff, and I got the information now. And thank you.
All
and
right.
love.
We appreciate you calling. Thank you so much. And Java, before we go to this next call, let me throw out another quick native plant. I brought in a magnolia flower. Everybody knows about magnolias. It's our state flower. It's a state tree. It's on our state flag. Magnolias, but a lot of times they're just too big for most people. Well, one of the pictures I brought in, number 6, is called Sweet Bay Magnolia. Sweet Bay Magnolia has a regular magnolia flower, but it's not much bigger than a teacup. It'll fit in a teacup.
Sweet Bay, okay.
Sweet Bay. It grows in low-wet areas. It'll grow in any kind of soil, dry soils, wet soils. But it's an upright. It's not a thug-looking plant like a regular magnolia. But between the little gem dwarf magnolias that fit in most landscapes, Sweet Bay Magnolia, these are magnolias with magnolia flowers, fragrance, and all like that, but they fit better than the giant, what they call bull bay magnolia that most of us think of.
That's what I was about to say. Wait, we got to circle back. Did you say thug magnolia?
Plants can be, they can stomp around and take up too much space too.
Okay, yeah.
A plant that tends to spread and take over, it becomes a bully in the landscape. I should say bully, not a thug.
Well, I mean, same thing.
Yeah, that's right. But anyway, there are a lot of more delicate, let's say more mannerly magnolias.
There you go. Okay.
Hey, let's go now to Meadville. Jennifer, thank you for calling. What's up?
Hey, Felder, how's it going?
So far, so good. Having a good time. What's up?
Okay, so I wanted to pester you guys and let you know that we're doing our first ever plant swap down at the Franklin County Public Library.
Oh, and what's that going to be? It's going to be, I hope it's not today.
It is actually going to be tomorrow, and we're hoping for good weather, but in case of rain, we're going to move it inside the building. Our library is located right behind the courthouse, right beside the post office, so hopefully that's kind of easy for people to Google and find. 38 South First Street.
And if you're not from Meadville or Bude, what a pretty drive this time of year.
Oh, and especially the coreopsis and the medians, it's absolutely gorgeous.
That's our Mississippi's official state wildflower is coreopsis.
I think that they really chose well for that one, considering how prolific it is and how it just absolutely creates its own shade of yellow out there.
Okay, so at the library, Saturday morning, Meadville Library behind the courthouse, what time?
So we're going to let people start setting up at 9 o'clock. We're going to have tables out. If you want to bring your own table, that's fine. But if you want to use one of ours, that's fine. It's just space permitting. We're going to start the actual swap at 10 a.m., and we're going to do 3 plants. So you'll just bring 3 well-established, disease-free plants. If you don't have 3 that you already have at home, if you want to buy one from a garden center, just like some little thing, nothing expensive.
Bring a nice plant and meet people. You know the nice part, Jennifer. The neatest part about plant swaps, and I've been doing plant swaps for decades. Literally, Steve Bender from Southern Living and I did a book called Pass Along Plants. First time anybody written really about plant swaps. And you have non-joiners. You don't have to be a master gardener or a garden club person. People who don't join groups feel safe. It's an interesting way to get different kinds of people and different kind of plants together in one spot, and they all get along. It's a safe way for people to rub shoulders without having to rub shoulders.
And I love that because that exactly hits on what we want to do. We want to create a community of people that just like to garden but don't want to really do much in the way of groups. But one thing I've noticed, so many people are coming by and they're like, I don't need any more plants, but here, I've got 30 tomato starts. I've got these, I've got those. So we're going to have fun passing out plants, if nothing else.
Yeah, Java's partner, Crystal, she's going to have plenty of stuff to plant. She's starting everything she can get her hands on from seeds. She got more plants than will fit in that garden. So she's going to be at a plant swap before it's over. Anyway,
and if she needs any seeds, come to the library because we've been given just pounds and pounds of vegetable and herb seeds. So we'll be glad to pass those along too.
Good. I got a couple of weeks ago at a plant swap in Flora. I got some seeds. They've got a seed library there at the Flora library, and I got some seeds of a special kind of radish that I planted in my yard, and they're already up. I mean, and I would never have gotten these if I hadn't happened to notice them in the seed libraries. Anyway, hope y'all have a good turnout, Jennifer, and good weather too.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys when we see you.
All righty. And Java, before we go to this next call, I might want to mention I'm also going to be at a farmer's market Tuesday afternoon, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, in Eupora, Mississippi.
Good old Eupora.
Yeah, it's a small plant swap. It's sweet. It's going to be, they've got a sort of a fairground thing just immediately north of downtown Flora, Eupora, immediately north of downtown Eupora on Highway 9. And I'm going to have my truck there with all the stuff going in the back, going to yak with folks, very informal. That's going to be from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock and just north of downtown Eupora on Highway 9. Really looking forward to that because this is where the, pardon the pun, because I'm going to be in my truck with a garden in the back. This is plant swaps and farmers markets are where the wheel meets the road.
There you go.
Local folks swapping and selling stuff to local folks.
Well, we lost. I think it was Ron and Canton. If you can come back, give us a call back after this cheesy tune break, or leave us a question on the YouTube live stream. We got some interesting questions in there that we can hit when we come back.
This live stream thing is so cool. Go to YouTube and type in Gestalt Gardener MPB. You can see me and Java and all these plants and stuff. I wish you could smell it. And the fact that I shaved for folks on YouTube, so come on, help us out. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. I've got a tune that was first sung in 1921, and it's a perfect thing for this because we had so much rain right here at the end of April, and you can't believe what it's going to do to the garden in May. We'll be right back, me and Java, all the other folks at MPB, right after this.
Hey, it's me, Gus the Gopher for Atmos Energy. I dig all around the yard. Occasionally, I bump into a utility line and get a headache. But if you hit one with your shovel, backhoe, or ditch digger, you could cause a gas leak, disrupt service, or worse. So call 811 at least 3 business days before you or someone else digs in your yard to have those underground utility-owned lines marked. It's free and it's the law. You dig what I'm saying? For more on safe digging, visit atmosenergy.com/811.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
You don't want to miss the next Mississippi Antique Showcase coming to Oxford, Mississippi, May 2nd and 3rd.
For a $100 donation, you can get a showcase ticket, complimentary food, cocktails, and an on-site appraisal, or a chance to be on the show. Or for $60, you can just come and be part of the party. Call 1-844-874-6874, visit mpbonline.org, or scan the QR code on your screen.
We can't wait to see you in Oxford for the next Mississippi Antique Showcase.
Okie folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. And Java, you said that April is listening, and I put a bug under her bonnet about
Crystal.
What did I say, April?
Because you're thinking about April showers.
I was thinking about April showers. That's right. That's right.
But no, yes, Crystal's listening. She's been texting me the whole show. She wants to go to Meadville. Thank you, Jennifer. And she wants to go to get a Sweet Bay Magnolia now because of the small magnolia flowers, like, you know.
Well, watch the kids in the morning and get her to come down to the farmer's market down at the fairground in downtown Jackson, because we've got native plant vendors. This is sort of a native plant event they're having at the farmer's market this weekend, and they have people with native plants, and I'd be surprised if it wasn't a Sweet Bay Magnolia there. Anyway, it's going to be a real special event Saturday morning, farmer's market at the fairgrounds downtown Jackson, and I'm going to be there in my truck, and I'm going to give 3 talks, same talk, for different folks, 9 o'clock, 10:30, and noon. And lots and lots of cool stuff down there. By the way, Java, because the live stream folks can't hear the music, right?
Yeah, no, it's just a silly little thing, about copyrights.
Yeah. Well, can I read the poem of the song? It's called April Showers.
Go ahead.
Okay. Life is not a highway strewn with flowers. Still, it holds a goodly share of bliss. When the sun gives way to April showers, here's a point you should never miss. Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, it's raining violets. And when you see the clouds upon the hills, you will soon see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for a song whenever April showers come along. Isn't that cheesy?
Well, I did like the part, like, it's not raining. It's some, what did it say?
It's
raining violets.
Yeah.
I did like that.
When I put my rain gauge in the garden, I got just over 4 inches this past week.
Oh, it's been happening, man. We walked outside yesterday, and the ground was, it was soaked.
And poor Crystal, she wants so bad to get out and squirt garlic juice and water and do stuff like that, and the rain is keeping her from getting out and doing stuff.
Yeah, that's the only, like I said, we literally took a stroll around the garden last night.
Well, we've got the lines open, folks. If you'd like to give us a call, toll-free 1-877-MPB-RING.
And speaking of the lines and questions, we do have a question from YouTube.
Okay.
If you can always drop a comment or drop a question during the live stream. That is one of our fantastic, offerings from MPB. But, we got a question. It says, and I love this name, The Traveling Tacos. It's Taylor. We know Taylor. We love Taylor. She's here, family here at MPB. But she says, I have about a 1 drop a 1 foot drop step off my porch around all sides, and I'm worrying about my baby. She has a wonderful new little baby falling off. I'm looking for a short, maybe 3 foot high functional shrub to put in. Any suggestions?
So in other words, she wants to put something out there so when the baby falls off, she can't find the baby. Is that what she's saying? Is that what she's saying?
Well, the baby wouldn't hit the ground. It just kind of maybe roll into the shrub.
Well, there are plenty of shrubs that'll do well there that only get a foot and a half, 2 feet tall. There's plenty of good plants. My go-to, and it's boring. It's just a boring plant, Java.
Well, she did say functional, so that's
and it's got to grow well. It's got to be easy. It's got to tolerate not being broken off when the baby falls in it. No water, sun or shade all year long. The plant that immediately comes to mind for me is dwarf nandina. Now, older folk, you've got nandina all around your yard. They're the big things with the red berries. Mm-hmm. But they get big. But the dwarf ones only get a foot and a half, 2 feet tall. They look good all year. They're soft enough where they're not going to hurt the baby. Okay, and they're brushy enough where the baby can pull itself up and peek back over hey, look what I did, that kind of thing. But they'll grow in any kind of dirt. They look good all year. And the dwarf ones, they got names like Harbor Dwarf. There's one called Gulf Stream. They only get a foot and a half, 2 feet tall, and they look great all year. They're durable. And she can always add other stuff later, but in the short run, she could need to put a little restraint there, a little fence type thing.
Yeah, okay.
All she got to do is, put some nandinas out there, maybe some clumps of monkey grass to pretty it up. But if she'll just get some, you can get very inexpensive metal fence posts that just tap it in the ground. Some are only like 2 feet tall, and just tap them in the ground and just get some of that, a little roll of the kind of little fencing that people put around flower beds, little wire-looking stuff. It can look pretty.
Yeah, something that you wouldn't necessarily need a shovel to dig into the ground with.
Yeah. These fence posts are metal. You just tap them into the ground and get this little kind of a frilly flower bed edging, and then the baby can hang Mardi Gras beads on it. Put little boy or girl, put dolls on it, whatever. But a little low, like the border edging type of fence. Mm-hmm. And those little small metal stakes that just tap on the ground.
You really just created a little scene right there, Felder, because Taylor, she just asked for a shrub, but the shrub plus the monkey grass plus their little fence, and you got a complete little thing right there.
Yeah, actually, what I said was put up a fence and then hide it with some plants. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, Java. A lot of people are having plant swaps. There's plant sales everywhere, all over the state. I wish we had a good way to advertise all of them because they're everywhere. But the ones that I'm involved in, I like to promote because this is part of MPB. I wear a little MPB thing, and I've got an MPB sticker I put on my truck. But I'm going to be not only at the farmers market Saturday morning. I'm going to be there from 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock, but at 9, 10:30, and 12, I'm going to talk from the back of my truck on how to get away with using really, really cool plants that just happen to be native. I'm not saying plant them because they're native, but they're really good plants. And I've got 2 pictures I'd like to bring up. One is number 4. It's a native honeysuckle. It's called coral honeysuckle. Coral honeysuckle is not the Japanese stuff that spreads everywhere. It's a native plant. It grows in the woods, sun or shade. It is an incredible hummingbird magnet, and it grows easily. And it's native to Mississippi. But people, when they say honeysuckle, they think it's going to take over. And another one is picture number 7 is a native wisteria. We think of wisteria as being a real thug. It takes over everywhere. It climbs up the trees. It surfers. But this is a type of wisteria that is native to the South. It's called Amethyst Falls. It has clusters of flowers. They smell more citrusy than grapey. And it's just a terrific plant. And the last one I want to show, this is picture number 8. This is a truly unique native plant, Java.
Okay.
I made a bottle tree with glass bottles, and all the bottles in there, the Coca-Cola, the Barks Root Beer, Phillips Milk of Magnesia, Southern Pecan Beer, all of the bottles are from Mississippi companies. It's a native Mississippi bottle tree.
A native Mississippi bottle tree. Come on, man.
Well, some people tend to like to accessorize, and it's all right. So, anyway, the other thing I'm doing this next week I like to promote because it's a small venue. They're going to have a lot of fun. In Eupora, they have a farmer's market that's open. It sounds a little odd because we think of it as a weekend thing. From 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon at Eupora. It's going to be at the little fairground type. It's a park that's immediately north of downtown Flora on Highway 9. I'm going to be there in my pickup truck with all the flowers that you know, Java. I got all these flowers and herbs, and I've even got vegetables and stuff. Right now I've got basil and rosemary and oregano, and I've got native flowers and stuff. And then I'm just up there just to talk with folks about gardening.
Yeah, no, Eupora is a wonderful town. I remember Jermaine and I, we were going somewhere to do something. I can't even remember now. And we made a stop in Eupora, and it's a great little town. Yeah,
they got the Highway 82 bypass like it does so many towns. They got the 4-lane goes all the way around it. But, I mean, when I was going to Mississippi State, I used to hitchhike home to Indianola. Friday afternoon, hitchhike to Indianola. Sunday, I hitchhike back. But I always had some books, had my hair tied back, and I had a little sign that says home on one side, and on another side it says MSU. And so I always got rights. I looked like a student till I got in the car and I realized I had my hair tied back. But
so
anyway,
who is this guy?
But I got stuck in Eupora quite a few times because people were just going to Eupora.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'll be a lot of fun. I really like doing these kind of programs. Anyway, last week I stopped by the farmer's market in Jackson because there's a fellow there who sells heirloom plants. His name is Mike. And I got some plants for the Agriculture Museum to put out. Some really, really cool plants. As a matter of fact, I have a picture of the Ag Museum of the Garden, picture number 2. And the rose called Peggy Martin rose is in full bloom. Not only Peggy Martin, but at the base of it, I've got this old antique red amaryllis that you see.
Yeah.
You can't buy this anywhere, but I see it all over Mississippi as a pass-along plant. We've got hardy gladiolus, magenta-looking stuff. So Agriculture Museum, if you're in Jackson, stop by the Ag Museum right on Lakeland Drive, just off of the interstate. It's got an incredible assortment of 1920s type town stuff, with a little herb garden behind the doctor's thing. We've got antique plants, we've got wildflowers, we've got vegetables and herbs growing in ways that people can do themselves. The biggest bed out there is 4x8, and we grow vegetables and herbs in it, and it looks like a flower bed because we mix stuff up. Anyway, so I encourage folks to stop by the Agriculture Museum, and in particular visit the little herb garden behind the doctor's office in the little downtown, what they call small town Mississippi.
Yeah, we're running a little late on time, so if you still want to get a call in, go ahead and do that now. 1-877-MPB-RING, 1-877-672-7464, or drop us a line on the YouTube live stream. But before we go any further, again, I want to say thank you to 811, to Atmos Energy. Make sure you dial 811 before you dig. Like I say, you don't want to be that person that didn't call and then you mess up for the neighborhood because you hit a utility line or something like that, but while you were trying to get your spring garden, your summer garden together. So thank you again to Atmos Energy, and remember to dial 811.
That's right. And I would like to remind folks this time of year, if you haven't fertilized your grass, a lot of people, well, I never fertilize my grass. Yeah, and you got stickers too. If grass needs to be fertilized, I'm going to say at least every 3 or 4 years. Just put it in the system and it will recycle through the grass clippings. But use a good quality lawn food. Don't get some cheap agriculture type stuff. We want the grass to have a good, long, steady, slow feeding, gentle feeding, so you don't have to mow like crazy. But if you'll fertilize your grass, get a bag of the good stuff. It's a little expensive to some people, but here's the trick, Java. A lot of people don't realize that fertilizer companies, when they say, here's how much to use, their job is to sell fertilizer. That's the maximum they can get away with recommending. You get a bag of the good stuff and make it go twice as far, that means it only costs half as much, and it fertilizes the grass just as much. So get the good stuff, make it go twice as far. I'm not talking about you and Crystal in your front yard, because you got mostly moss in your front yard.
Yeah, we got a lot of... but you did comment that we Tame the beast.
Yeah, the Asiatic jasmine.
Yes,
It looks good because under the beds you've got Asiatic jasmine, but y'all have mowed paths through it, so it's like the beds under the trees. You still have little walking paths, and I noticed your soil is shaded, a little acidic. So you got moss growing out there, which is a perfectly good ground cover for the shade.
Yeah,
unless you and Java Jr. getting out there, tussling out and the stuff. It'll take occasional foot traffic, but it looks good the way y'all have edged and neatened up patches of the Asiatic jasmine with paths of grass. It looks really, really good. Hey, we got time to go to Hattiesburg and talk to Tom?
Yeah, let's do it.
Tom, what's up, man? Thanks for calling.
Hey, good morning, Felder. I've got an apple tree that I've planted in the garden. Well, it grew by seed, and it's gotten pretty big. And I pruned the thing, the tree in the winter time, but the thing's never bloomed. It hasn't ever bloomed. And some of the pieces that I've cut off, I've stuck them in the ground in one of my planters to hold some sticks down, and it bloomed. The little pieces stuck off. Am I pruning this thing at the wrong time? Or Mr. Galloway said he pruned his fruit trees down on the coast. He says he prunes them 3 times a year.
Well, he that might be a little excessive. When we're talking about pruning fruit trees, we're talking about thinning out the clutter, not just pruning them like a bush, but thinning out the clutter. And other than that, if you pruned too much, they bloom in the spring on what grew the year before. So if you cut them overall, they go your flowers. See, so if you're going to prune the whole thing, let's wait till after they get through blooming so you see whether it's got fruit or not. Just thin out stuff in the wintertime. But if you could do overall pruning, there go your flowers.
Appreciate you calling in, Tom. We are running at the end, and I want to get Mary from Starkville in.
Thanks for calling, Mary. What's up, lady?
Hello. Good morning.
Howdy.
I put a message in the YouTube, but I just wanted to call. I tried calling earlier. I have several peach trees in a newly purchased home that are pretty mature, and I just noticed that there's some clear jelly-like stuff coming off the peaches. Is that normal?
On the peaches, yeah. They get all sorts of insects. There's a little weevil-colored snout beetle that punch holes, lays eggs in it. That's what that is. So, unfortunately, peaches got to be sprayed for insects. It's just one of the facts of life. So, not much you can do about it, but when they get ripe, when you get ready to eat something, don't look at what you're eating.
Okay.
And if you're a vegan, don't eat them at all because there could be worms in there.
Should I spray them now? Or
No. You spray after the flowers fall off. You spray to control the adults beetles before they lay the eggs. Once they're in there, the sprays don't help. So anyway, sort of missed it this year. Next year, you wait till the flowers fall off, spray a couple of 3 times after the flowers shed, and they'll get the adults before they do the damage.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All righty. Appreciate your call, Mary. Thank you. Okay, Java, I'm going to see some folks, maybe even see Crystal out at the farmer's market downtown Jackson tomorrow. I hope to see some folks from all over north central Mississippi and at the Eupora farmer's market Tuesday from 4 to 6. Just north of downtown Highway 9. I keep promoting this because it's a small venue, and it's really intimate. We're going to have a great, great time with me and my pickup truck. So, anyway, if you get a chance, go visit a farmer's market, go to a garden center that's loaded with stuff. Get you a big old pot, stuff a bunch of different things in it, like I did some herbs for Java, and take a kid if you can. Show them how to do what we do best, and let's get out. And Java, they can't really get close enough on my fingernails, but my fingernails are dirty.
They're dirty.
They're dirty. And it's sort of a badge of honor. I'm not a dirty old man. I'm a gardener.
There you go.
Y'all have a good time. If you get a chance, get outside this weekend. It's not too muddy, but see if you can't get dirty. See y'all next week.